Alright dudes, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Duty's Daggers. Today we're taking a look at some QSP knives. One that's a newer release. One that's not super new, but one that I had not been able to get my hands on yet, or just didn't get my hands on yet, that I like very much. So let's take a look at them here. The first one is the swordfish. This is a button lock with a really nasty, wicked looking Warncliffe blade. I mean, look at that thing. What is that, grease? Yeah, look at this thing. I really like the overall aesthetic of the knife. Kind of a neutral-ish handle. Almost looks like a steak knife kind of handle, which is really comfortable. I really don't feel the clip. It's a wire clip, too. That is reversible. We got some pretty nice burlap micarta here. Not the fuzziest kind of stuff. It doesn't feel awful though. I mean, it feels a little more plasticky than some micartas, but it certainly does look. It looks very, very nice. Really, really nice. No, chip outs for the holes or blowouts or anything like that. It all looks nice. Black hardware, inset liners that have milling for weight relief. 14C 28N blade steel. And we got a flipper tab and thumb studs, both of which work decently. Now, as far as the action, this is not the snappiest button lock I've ever felt. The flipper tab action kind of reminds me of like a Civivi Conspirator. If you've flipped one of those, not very snappy for the flipper tab. You easily fail it. But I can easily flip it too. Just give it a little bit more of a flick and it pops out easily. The thumb studs to me are the preferred method here. The thumb studs actually feel pretty good. They feel, it feels like it's tuned for the thumb studs much better. I can reverse flick it. It feels nice and snappy. So that's good. At least one of the deployments is satisfying and, fun and easy to use. The fall shutness is quite fall shutty. I mean, yeah, you push the button, it's going home immediately. Very free swinging blade on bearings. Lock up. Actually, we have a little bit of blade play. Let me tighten that up. Wrong one. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Okay, there we go. No blade play. Still the same free swinging blade, so that's great. Sweet. Yeah, cool. The button is kind of sticking out a little bit farther than I like off the surface of the scale. You can see there, when in the open position, it pops out quite a bit. In the closed position, it sinks down a little bit, but it's still definitely poking out a bit. I like my buttons to be, a little bit lower down to the scale. It just feels a little bit better pushing them. There's not as much travel to disengage. This one, it feels like you have a long way to push down before it disengages, We can look in comparison to another button lock here. Let's see. Grab a few. Here's the Malibu. You can see the button is almost completely flush with the surface. Here's the Civivi Cubit. Civivi does great with their buttons. Really, really almost flush button. CJRB Echo. Also very good. There, you can see in comparison, the button on the swordfish here pokes out quite a bit. Here's the pyrite. So it's not it doesn't affect the lockup. It doesn't it's really just a preference thing. It's not even really a cosmetic thing, really. It's just kind of a tactile feel kind of thing. I don't like having to push the button in that much, and that's a nitpick. That really is a nitpick, but that's just my preference. Now, let's talk about this blade, because it is really nice. We have a pretty thin measurement behind the edge. In fact, let's see exactly what it is. Yeah, a little thicker than I thought. 22 thousandths. So that's not horrible, but it's not super thin, but it's not super thick. That's doable. But I think really the star of the show here is the tip. It gets very fine. Look how thin it gets down there at the tip. It's an aggressive Wharncliffe. So this is gonna, be really good at utility cuts, and especially with your if you're doing utility cuts through a thicker material. The fact that it stays so thin for so far up here, it's going to be even good on thicker material too. I think it'll slice decently well. I mean, the blade stock's not overly thick. I mean, look at that. It's actually decently thin. So it should still slice pretty well, despite it being 22 thousandths behind the edge. So, amazing utility cutter, very pokey. I like this swedge here. That also helps it slim down towards the tip as well. So, pretty cool. This is a loaner. I don't think I'm going to buy one. Number one, I don't need another button lock. I have so many, and this doesn't jump out at me as like, oh my god, I need this. But it's QSP. It feels quality. Besides those little things I pointed out, this is a pretty cool knife. So on to the next one. The Hedgehog, baby. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a really cool knife. This is a slip joint. I need to wipe that off. Let's see. This is a slip joint that's been out for a little while, and I've been meaning to get one. I just haven't yet. By the way, these are on loan to me by DNK Knives. Old Don Farmer there at DNK. I'll put a link to these down below. That'll take you to his website. He's got a website where he sells knives. A lot of good USA-made stuff. A lot of good overseas stuff. Just a lot of good stuff in general. And I have a discount code over there, Duty10. So you can get 10% off over there if you want to. Now the Hedgehog here is 14C28M blade steel. We got a red fat carbon handle. But it also comes in regular micarta, and also a jigged titanium as well, which I would really like to get. It looks nice, and it's made by the same people that make the Ohio River Jacks. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. QSP makes these, so they do good with jigging, and they do good with slip joints. So there you go. But if you want to save some money and get one of the micarta ones, or this one, it feels very, very, very good. Walk and talk is really nice, man. Really nice and stiff pull. Really pronounced half stop. Nice pop to the half stop, and really nice click out to the full open position. Really, really great. We have a hollow grind here that is very, very thin behind the edge, man. Really nice and thin. This blade kind of reminds me of like a straight razor. We have a little bit of a tip here for I don't know. It helps. It's better for utility cuts if it's kind of a little bit of a pronounced tip right there. And oh boy, this thing cuts, baby. Really, really nice. We have a long pull, which looks great. Man, I mean, look how thin it is at the tip. Look at that, dude. That's so cool, man. It's a smaller knife. I can still get a full grip on it, though. Listen to that. Pop. Let's measure this one behind the edge. I don't think I have yet. Let's see. $13. Yeah, 13 thousandths. Awesome. That is really nice and thin. Really nice and thin. This is one I'm going to pick up. I don't know which version yet, but I need one of these. I really do. Let's throw it up against some other... well, here's the Ohio River Jack. It's a little bit shorter, but not by much. Here is the Rosecraft Blades Beaver Creek Barlow. There you go. And how about, let's do a case Sodbuster Jr. These are kind of all right around the same size. And then how about a GEC number 78 American Jack. There you go. So there you go. A couple QSPs. I'm more into the Hedgehog here over the Swordfish, but you know, if the Swordfish is your jam, then it's your jam. This is really nice. The backspacer, by the way, really nice and flush all the way around. It wraps around there. Great fit and finish. You got a lanyard hole there too, by the way. It's just good stuff. Sharpening choil isn't great. You can see we already have a smile right there. See how the edge bevel is thickening up right in here. But you know, slip joints aren't really known for having great sharpening choils. It's just not really part of the design most of the time. I mean, if you look at any of these, this one's not smiling yet, but it's right there. It's right where the plunge grind is starting to thicken up. You know, it's just it's a slip joint, so they're not going to have big old sharpening choils. These are all about the same. So, not a big deal. It's a slip joint, so you're not really going to be even sharpening it a whole lot anyways. There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like the video before you head out. And I'll put a link down to DNK Knives down below if you want to go take a look at these or take a look at anything else he's got on the website. Here's his card, by the way. I've said by the way too many times, I just realized. Don Farmer, DNK Knives. Very nice guy. Good website. Good customer service. That's it. Love you guys. Adios.